Mm-mm.
Good.
And don't even ask me. Not that you would, not that you care. Literally didn't even respond. So, because I'm like, whatever, whatever, dude.
Tis what it tis. Let's see. Twitch checking go over there.
When are you? You're doing
Audacity.
Waterworld soon, right? With Brad.
We haven't set a date yet.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I still need to figure that out. What actually I was doing
What do
him?
you?
Waterworld and something else?
I don't know. You mentioned that one. I think that was it, as far as I remember.
No, we're
But
doing two. I can't remember what the. Oh, Big Red 1, which I guess
oh,
is
okay,
40 something years old this year. I never seen it. He said it's. He said he really likes it. So I was like, all right. Yeah, that
I
and
don't know
then
if you.
Waterworld. I figured it's when I sit down to record these one-off things with people, it's easier to fucking bang out multiple movies at once.
Do it up, man. One thing that I've seen based on looking at those downloads all the time is that every time you release one of those, they at least do fairly well. It's not like they bomb, so people are tuning in regardless.
Content. Content. I'm gonna go
I
post
tried
this
to
over in the
get
dumpster.
Yeah, I tried to get Saucy to do the Lost Boys with me last week, so that way we could try to capitalize on Schumacher's passing, but it just didn't work out. And I knew that I didn't know what your workload was like anyway, and I'm not, you know, I don't just expect you to be able to pump shit out whenever. So I was like, I'll just whatever on that. We'll do another. We'll do one a month. So we released that one earlier in the month, and unfortunately, the Poltergeist episode did bomb. I tried something different with that. I decided with him like not to do like a teaser image or let anyone know about it. And, we tried to do a surprise thing, and obviously that didn't work. So I guess next movie we will just do it with
Somebody
the.
had to have listened to the fucking thing, right?
Well, no, it's like right under 200. But like for our B sides usually almost always get to 300,
Hmm,
depending on what it is.
fair point.
It is what it is. I mean, like I said, it depends on the title. It's not like it was a big anniversary. It didn't have a lot of press around it when we released it or anything like that. So, and we didn't do any promotion for it at all. We just posted it. So it happens.
I gotta start pushing the. I gotta do all that shit tomorrow. I gotta get all the challenge stuff ready tomorrow to start that on the first. I think I'm gonna do double the mileage. Because 40 miles in a month is not gonna. It's gonna be a joke to me. Like that's not even gonna be a thing.
Yeah, for you, yeah. I mean, dude, just even doing my walks every day, I can do that too, just by walking my walks that
I
I
mean, I
do.
did 4 miles yesterday, and I stopped only because I just had to get home and do shit. I think I'm going to double it. So I'm only going to keep it to 40 for the challenge, but I'm going to double it. I'm going to do 80.
That's good, dude. I mean, the past fucking couple days here, man, has been unbearable. Like I've been walking out there and I literally come home drenched in sweat just from taking a walk. I can't even take the dogs, dude, because it's too hot for them. It's been rough. I don't know, but yeah, I'll do. I mean, dude, literally, I walk like at least 2.5 miles every day anyway, just by taking walks for
Yeah.
whatever reason. So it'll be cool.
All right. So we're live on Twitch. Somebody hopefully will come in there. I just spammed it out all over the social medias. Let's see. What? Oh, that's right. I think we have an extra emote on there. I need to think of a good emote that we can add on there. Maybe I'll make the Bronson one a first level tier. That one should be a first level emote. People need to be able to spam the Bronson at people.
Yeah, the world needs more Bronson all around, everywhere.
That's another thing I got to get off the ground too. I didn't have the fucking mental energy to try to do it this past weekend, but I want to get that fucking Sunday, maybe not Sunday. Sunday might be the wrong day for it. I don't know what day, but just a day movie party where we can just like host it on Twitch and just like put on some movie on Prime and just have it playing, and then I'll be sitting here yammering on while it's playing or whatever.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a blast.
Even though I really still hate the interactivity or lack thereof that Twitch has with the feature. So like basically it'll kind of be one of those things like once you show up and once you're in, then you're in and that's it. Then it doesn't matter what you do anymore, you know. Just gonna be one of those kind of things where it's just like, eh.
Yeah, actually, on the subject of streaming platforms, I heard that Microsoft's streaming platform basically just fucked everybody over, all of their content creators, and basically said, "Yo, we're done." I forget the name of the
Mixer is what it was called.
Mixer, yeah, whatever. Like they had all these people invest all this money in this time. Like, yeah, we're gonna make a big deal about this. We're really gonna push.
Well, they
this.
had too. They went after, like when they first founded it, they went after two of the biggest streamers on Twitch. They went after Twitch, or they went after Shroud, and they went after Ninja, who were two of the absolute biggest streamers on the platform. Right? And yeah, they paid exclusive. Yeah. They paid millions and millions of dollars to get them to come over and stream exclusively on their platform, and then just immediately just bloop, tits up. Because I mean, you know, like it's a different thing on Twitch. It's not just about like one streamer. Like it's about like a wider community and whatnot. And like it's just, you know, people want to be able to do all sorts of different things and whatnot. I just don't know what the fuck they're. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it sucks for those guys who, you know, literally that's like their entire life and their entire brand. But I mean, they make millions and millions of dollars a year anyway, so they're already sitting more than pretty. Daniel, welcome.
I guess so. Yeah, I think it was just a bitch of a way to tell all those content creators. Basically, they announced it via a tweet, which is kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
So when I heard about that, I was like, I'm glad that we didn't invest any time or anything. And not that we're at that level yet, anyways, with streaming. Though we have been doing streaming content for quite a long time, actually, on and off.
We have, and then that's where we're trying to transition from on and off into regularly, which is why we do this regularly Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. I've been keeping to my stream schedule Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. I do Minecraft, and then whenever on the weekends if I get a chance. And plus, I want to do those movie parties. Like, if we build enough of a consistency on the platform that we're live often enough, we're going to get repeat people coming into the chats. We're going to get repeat people coming to hang out, to do whatever, you know, and then we'll be in that position next year when Live Stream for the Cure comes around to be like, yeah, that's what I was just talking to Justin about, Dan, the Bronson movie party.
Do you think that
I was looking through all their Prime movies, like there's so many Bronson movies on Prime, it's dumb.
Do you think if we did an activity, like if I tried to do another, like maybe I shaved my balls and glued the hairs to my chin, like if people would show up for that?
That'll be when we found our OnlyFans account. We'll set up our OnlyFans account for that.
So I was thinking I was going to try to maybe just let it grow, and then I'd try to recreate Loisos's beard on my face, but only with pubes. I don't know. It's an idea, man. I mean, at this point in time, why the fuck not?
I mean, we may as well. You know what I watched last night? I watched because I'm sure we'll do some wrestling talk before the pre-roll's over. But I watched that Fighting With My Family movie. Did you catch that or not? I can't remember if you caught that or not.
I watched it on the plane on the way to Italy, actually.
Oh yeah.
Like it was one of the choices, and I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, very solid. It was a standard sports movie, you know, as far as the beats and everything. It
was a very, very generic plot wise, kind of formulaic. But I mean, Florence Pugh, number one, is hot as hell.
I know you like her. And she's so good. And when I watch her in that movie, I don't see her at all. I just see Paige. So it's like,
yep.
You know, she's so good.
She's great she's great as the character, and you know, it was good. It was good. It was entertaining. You know, like I said, it was absolutely nothing. Like, I mean, literally, like you could telegraph it from a mile away. Like, you know, that her brother's going to call her to psych her up before her match or whatever. It's like, you just know it's going to happen. And then she has the breakdown. And then all of a sudden, like, you know it's going to happen. But
you got to think, though, I mean, other than No Holds Barred and Mickey Rourke's, you know, The Wrestler, there's not really many good wrestling movies. And there's not really that many good like wrestling movies in general. There's a lack there of wrestling movies.
The only shitty thing about it is like, she was the women's champion in NXT for like 2 years before she went to Raw, and you know, there was like she was obviously a much bigger deal, you know, before she automatically just wound up on Raw out of the blue. Like the whole third act of the movie was incredibly rushed. Like all of a sudden, like she went from like like when she shows back up at the gym after like the Christmas break or whatever, she goes home, to her winning the Divas title on Raw is like 5 minutes in the movie. Like it almost feels like it's like, seriously, it's like super brisk. It like blows through everything else, like completely blows through all of her time at NXT, completely blows through like I wanted to like, and because it's a WWE produced movie, of course we're not going to see more of the backstage stuff like that. We're not going to see more of like the stuff we saw in The Wrestler, like, you know, where it's like the wrestlers whispering like their spots and all the different stuff like that, like, you know, the live stuff that they do in the ring. Like, of course you're not going to see that kind of stuff when you watch that.
Yeah.
But it was still like, you know, I was really wishing that they would have given us more of that. Like, I think that would have been better if they would have given us more of that. But you know, it was good for what it was. I won't fault it.
Yeah, I agree
for what it
100%.
was.
I thought it was pretty emotional at times as well, man. Like I felt that really her performance was on point. It's good to see
She
The
was
Rock
great.
in there. Yeah, all around. And Nick Frost too. Nick Frost is the dad.
Yeah.
I just love Nick Frost and everything. So he was great as the dad. The parents were great. I like the story a lot. It's unfortunate to see where she's at now in real life as a wrestler. She can't wrestle, right? Like she got injured or something.
Yeah, she's retired. I think she fucked up her neck or something. Because I was reading more about it yesterday. I think it's her neck or her back. One of the two got so jacked up that she's retired. She can't wrestle anymore.
That's a shame, dude. I mean, I didn't watch during that era. I don't watch really now, but I mean, I knew who she was, and because her, you know, her image would pop up everywhere all the time, and I was like, who's this hot chick wrestler? And I have seen clips of her wrestling quite a few times on YouTube and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, that's you do that for as long as you do, and you put your body on the line to do whatever, and it's just like smash, you know.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you can look at what happened with Owen Hart and Steve Austin, man. Like that basically changed his whole career, but it also helped it in a lot of ways. We got the Stone Cold character that would just jump in the ring at any possible moment and just stun Gorilla Monsoon or Vince McMahon or whoever the ref was at the time. He just whatever he fucking wanted would just come in. That was because he couldn't wrestle. He could just stun people. So the fact that he hurt his neck actually made his character better. But you know, it sucks. Yeah, that's the name of the game when you're doing that stuff anyway. So, but yeah, overall, I'm glad you caught that, man. I forgot that we hadn't, you know, because we didn't go see it in the theater when it came out. We kind of skipped over it for some reason.
Yeah, we did. No, it's Prime's the only streaming service I have left now. I don't have any other streaming services except for Amazon Prime. So I'm literally limited to whatever things Prime has for me to be able to watch, and that's only because I have Prime just because of. I renewed. Well, it's the annual, so I renewed it in like January or February or something like that. I can't remember 100% when that was, but yeah, it's the only streaming service I have left.
Dude, as far as like movie content is concerned, it's definitely the best. Like it's better than definitely better than Netflix in my opinion, based on titles that I'd want to watch.
I finished watching. I watched. Greg Daniels did that Upload series on there. It's only like 8 episodes, I think it was. He's the guy that he was a writer for The Simpsons, one of the creators of King of the Hill, The Office, Parks and Rec. Like, you know, so he's done a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's like this. It's a show where, what is it? If you die, you can have yourself uploaded into like this digital realm, and like you're still alive, but you're dead in like the real world or whatever. But then people from the real world can interact with you, and you can interact with them and whatnot via like virtual reality and all sorts of stuff. Like it's an interesting concept. It's good-ish. Like I think it.
I knew that issue was coming.
I think it needs more fleshing out. I think that's the only problem. I think it's only like 8 episodes, and they're only like 30-minute episodes. You know, it plays like it toes the line kind of between drama and comedy, but it plays like in a half an hour time format, like a sitcom would or whatever. And I think it needs more time to really develop the kind of concept of the world. Like it needs more time to kind of develop like the ideas of it, because it's not a bad idea. It's a good idea. It's a good concept for it. I'm also not 100% sold on Robbie Amell as the lead either, because he's just, you know, generic good-looking white dude. Like,
right.
So
got enough of those out there. Yeah, on that subject, actually, you just mentioned 2 shows. two shows that you love, The Office and The Simpsons, and some big news landed since the last time we talked regarding both of those shows. Obviously, one of which we've already dealt with this before in the past. The Simpsons, when Hank Azaria, said I'm stepping down as doing any character of any other different race, and they just announced that now they won't have any actor come on the show play anybody of a different race. The guy that voiced Cleveland on the Cleveland show stepped down as Cleveland. And
Jenny Slate on Little Big Mouth.
that one as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing. And then, of course, The Office, Netflix removed the episode where Dwight does blackface. That's completely gone. You can't watch it at all now on there. So I just wanted to get your opinion on all of that. It's a big clusterfuck. All of it went down since the last time we talked, and especially considering The Simpsons. I mean, it's not very surprising because we've seen that before already a few years ago. But I mean, I just want to.
It's just. And a lot of, and I've avoided social media like the plague, as you know.
Yeah,
like
I do.
I've ducked into Twitter like very briefly over the weekend, and then immediately ducked back out because I remembered why I stopped going on Twitter in the goddamn first place. Facebook, I've only been on the last couple of days because my son graduated from high school on Sunday, so I've been sharing pictures, and people have been messaging me and talking to me about him doing whatever and everything. So I've been hanging out there for a couple of days, but like. It's a huge thing that's going on in this country right now with Black Lives Matter, with stopping police brutality, which is ultimately the goal of everything, is equal treatment under the law, and those kinds of things. And a lot of the reactions, like there was an episode of the Golden Girls that was pulled by Hulu because the Golden Girls wear mud masks.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah, no shit. It's an episode of the Golden Girls where the girls are wearing mud masks. And like it's an episode about like racial tolerance because like a white guy is marrying a black girl or something like that in the episode. I'm not the biggest Golden Girls fan. I was only reading about it yesterday, but like they make it like Rose and somebody else comes out and they just make a joke that it's like it's just mud. We're not black or whatever. Like they're not in blackface, but like they removed it. Hulu removed it, saying they because they were in blackface. They were just wearing mud masks, And the theme of the episode, like from everybody posting about it. Everybody posting about it is like it's an episode about racial tolerance and like fighting ageism and fighting racism, like because it's about an interracial marriage and like accepting racial tolerance, and they pulled it because they're like, oh, they're in blackface. Like it's way. Everybody's becoming way too reactionary, and a lot of the reaction I've been seeing, and this is, I'm not a person of color. I can't ever speak to the experience of people of color or anything like that, but a lot of them are like, you guys are seriously missing the fucking boat. You guys are seriously missing the wagon on this whole thing, because with this other thing, the cops, the police brutality, like getting killed in the street, like the thing that happened to George Floyd and these other people, like that there's still justice to be served. This shit's not nearly as important, but this is the shit that people are focusing on. It's almost like it's this token, hey, we did something too. So the woke army can't come for them, and cancel culture can't come and get a hashtag trending. That's all it feels like. It feels like it's extremely reactionary to me. Everybody wants to be able to wave that flag and say, we did something, so now you can't get that hashtag trending about us. Go chase after that guy over there.
Don't go digging through our Twitter accounts 15 years ago to try to find something wrong with us, because we just did something right. No, 100%, man. Like, to me,
I'm not saying it's not important. Like, it is important, to have like whatever, like, to have, especially like the cartoon character thing, I like wishy-washy about. Like, there needs to be more opportunities for minority voice actors, for minorities, period. Like, there needs to be more opportunity.
100%.
But again, it's like this kind of stuff, it's just reactionary, and it feels like just kind of a token, hey, we did something kind of thing, as opposed to like when you're not affecting any, like the shit in the street still hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's not
that stuff still hasn't changed. It still hasn't done anything that is actually like important. That's not why people are protesting. People aren't out there in the streets protesting, holding up signs because a white dude voiced fucking Cleveland.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I get it. It's a great thing, and whatever. Like, it's more opportunities for minorities in every field. Yes, absolutely. That it should be 100% equality across the board, and it's not, and that's fucked up, and that's not fair. But like, you're seriously, like, you're missing the fucking boat here. Like, it's this is not the conversation that needs to be had right now. The focus needs to be kept on hashtag Black Lives Matter, on, you know, justice for like these police brutality killings, you know, changing the way that police handle things so that, you know, people aren't just getting like that people like somebody who's an African American, they're not like terrified to get pulled over for a busted taillight because they're afraid they're going to get shot or some shit, you know? Like that, you think they give a fuck about Cleveland? You think that that's what's important? Like it's in the scheme? Like that's a battle you can have way down the road, dude.
Way down the road, and apparently dude legit just, I don't know the actor's name that voiced Cleveland. I watched the show maybe a handful of times when it first aired, and I never thought it was good, so it doesn't really affect me in any way. But dude apparently just no one asked him to. He just really didn't want to do it. He said, I don't feel comfortable doing it anymore. And I get that, like, but all these headlines, like making a big deal about it. Like, obviously we deal with movie news. We deal with the clickbait world. We know what it's all about.
And here's the thing too. Like Cleveland, like the Cleveland show doesn't exist anymore. He's just back on Family Guy now, and Cleveland gets what, like a line or two an episode, maybe. It's the same thing with like it's a great token kind of gesture. Like, oh great, Carl and fuck, what the hell's the other one I was thinking of? Dr. Hibbert, or, you know, whatever other, you know, black characters on The Simpsons. It's like, okay, but those characters get like one line per episode. Like they're in like 1 or 2 episodes a whole fucking season. Like, it's not even a part-time job, you know? Like, it's such small potatoes, and it takes the focus away from what needs to be the main focus, you know? Like, is it important? Is it something that needs to happen? Is it something that probably should happen? Yeah, I don't disagree that it's something that should happen, but holy fuck, that's not like I said, but like people are out there getting killed in the streets. Like people are out there getting like afraid they're going to get pulled over and they're going to get pulled out of their car and shot for a busted taillight, you know, and they have to get taught, like coached, like, you know, don't like hands on the steering wheel, always keep your hands in sight. Like they should never have to live like that.
You know, I'll go back to a story that I remember our good friend Kevin Sampson from Picture Lock told us. I'm not sure if it was when he told you, or maybe he discussed it when we reviewed Get Out, because he did come on for Get Out, right? Jordan Peele's film. And he explained, I think, and it was a really emotional discussion where, like, you know, that's how he was brought up. His dad taught him those things where, you know, if you're going to go into a store, keep your hands out of your pockets. And like, so that's what he had to grow up just because of the color of his skin. So yes, everything else that's going on now, we need to keep the focus on what's important.
Important. Yeah. And like I said, it's way too reactionary. Like, you're yanking an episode of the Golden Girls about racial tolerance, about, you know, being tolerant of interracial marriage because Rose and one of the other Golden Girls have mud masks on. You're missing the fucking boat, people.
Dude, also, considering that we are hashtag the movie podcast your mother warned you about, you know, we do get a little
over there on the screen,
a little on the offensive side, you know, a little bit on the rough side, or rougher on the edges. I don't believe in getting rid of episodes.
I don't either. I don't think, because it doesn't.
What good does that fucking do?
Yeah, what does it do? What good does that do to get rid of those things? You know, like, yeah, like there. You know, if you want to put up a disclaimer, if you want to have the conversation about, you know, this is a bad thing, and, you know, this isn't something that's acceptable, and this is something that shouldn't be acceptable. But it's also contextual, because you have to think about it in the context of like the episode in which it was written, or anything like that. Like, it's like every couple of years, like, people will go after Tropic Thunder and they'll try to get Tropic Thunder canceled or whatever. But like, him being like, it's the whole point that it's reprehensible. That's literally the whole point of it. And like, you will every once in a while, you'll have somebody come out of the fucking woodwork that's mad about it, that Robert Downey Jr. is playing a black guy. And it's like, no, he's playing a character that does blackface, and everybody hates him for it and thinks he's a piece of shit. Like, that's the whole point of it, you know? And the whole point of it is that that's not acceptable.
I don't like erasing things from history. Like, I always admire.
Yeah, I don't think we should either. I really don't.
I mean, I'm not going to get all super political on statues or anything like that. That's not even anything that we're remotely close to being part of talking about on this show. But as far as like,
yeah, it's dicks, movies, and then statues. Distant third, guys. Distant third.
And pubes and Loisaus's beard. There it is. which I don't know where the fuck he is tonight. So if anyone is out there asking where the sauce is, don't ask me. I don't know, and
We
frankly,
we shot him.
He could be anywhere.
People
but
want the sauce.
tonight I don't. So go away. Go watch your stocks.
Now you're gonna die.
But I appreciate it when Disney would do like a little disclaimer. That's really all you need to do. HBO jumped they jumped to the gun and then removed Gone with the Wind. Like literally, how many fucking people do you think are going to watch Gone with the Wind right now during the COVID outbreak? How many people are like, you know what, honey, let's spend Sunday afternoon watching Gone with the Wind? It's such a small minority, a small number of people that are even going to possibly think about watching that old ass movie. Now, it is a classic. It's my mom's favorite movie of all time. It's the reason my sister's named Tara and all that stuff. But I mean, they removed it, and then now apparently they brought it back with some kind of a warning.
Now it's back with a disclaimer.
Dude, how many movies are they going to have to do that to? Because there's so many movies from that era which have racial stereotypes driven right into them. I mean, and I don't think there's a large amount of people that are out there that are like, those movies need to be removed. Like they're being offended by them. They're not fucking watching them. Like they're old. Like there's a small minority of people that like watching classic movies or old fucking cinema or anything. So, I mean, and I think if you come from a mature standpoint, like our good friend Kevin Sampson, he watches that and understands, why it is the way that it is. And that is part of film history, whether it's right or it's wrong. I don't think it should be removed or deleted or erased just because there's an aspect of it that may be socially insensitive to today's audience. I think it should be left alone. That's just my opinion.
It baffles me. And I'll never, like I said, I don't understand it. But yeah, it's missing the boat. It's missing the boat. And like I said, it feels like this kind of token reaction. We have to do something woke so that way the cancel culture army doesn't come for us and get a hashtag trending on Twitter and bash us for whatever reason. So we've got to, whatever we can do to say, hey, we helped, we did something too. It's like, no, you didn't. Like, the problem is still the problem.
I swear to God,
canceling like the Cleveland show or like whoever voices Cleveland, like getting somebody else to voice Cleveland, like, okay, yeah, I get it. That dude stepped down, whatever. But like, that does not solve anything at the end of the day. Like, it's a bit character on an animated show that is well past its prime. It's the same with The Simpsons. Like Lou, like Carl, like all these characters, like these characters are just one-off, like nobody characters. Like, seriously, like they can just be written out of the show. Like, that doesn't matter. Like it means literally nothing. Like Cleveland was written out of Family Guy for years when the Cleveland show was around. Like, he wasn't on the show. He was just gone because he had his own show or whatever. Like, it doesn't even really solve the issue that they're trying to attack from that standpoint either. It needs to be more inclusive, but that comes from a hiring process, and that comes from a hiring standpoint within that industry. And that's the systemic issue that you need to go after. Like this dude stepping down from the Cleveland show or from voicing Cleveland, or like The Simpsons, like getting these people in, or like that Big Mouth show on Netflix. Who cares? Like, they'll probably just cancel it, Or like I said on The Simpsons, like, is anybody really going to notice if Carl's not around? Like, you could just stick his character in a background shot, like he's just there, and just don't give him any lines,
Yeah.
Like, these are all very, like, they're insignificant characters. Like, well, I would argue that they're all very significant characters on The Simpsons, but like when Mrs. Krabappel died, the voice actor that did Mrs. Krabappel died, they just wrote her out of the show, It's
Simple as that.
It's just one of those things that, like, do you really think, like, if they want to, like, that's all they have to do? They don't have to do anything. It's like, and even if they do get somebody in there to voice them, they're going to get somebody in there to voice them. But then, it's going to become another argument about, like, oh, they're not getting paid as much as the voice actors for The Simpsons that have been doing these characters for 40 years.
Character piece in each show and each episode, they're not getting enough coverage.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a problem. And I think, and I have to be honest about this, and whatever. I'm surprised we haven't been fucking canceled yet. I'm surprised for how many times we talk about peepees. There are people that are sensitive to peepee talk, and we talk about them quite a bit. So we're still on the air. Thank you very much.
The cancel army can come for us.
Well, actually, I stand corrected. I forgot. A group of people did try to cancel us because of something you did, and yeah, they came
That's
after us.
true. That's
We got
true.
a string of 1-star reviews.
Because we didn't because I didn't like the Gypsy show on Netflix, and
That's what it was. Yeah.
Netflix was not happy about it. The Gypsy Netflix, the 7 people that actually watched and enjoyed Gypsy all had Twitter accounts and started review bombing us.
It wasn't even you.
Whatever.
I remember it wasn't even you who warned me. I think it was the sauce where he's like, "Dude, you better prepare for a shitstorm." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Nick's arguing with a bunch of people over on Twitter, and I think they're gonna start, throwing shit at us. Throwing Molotov."
They did it
cocktails."
even before that, though. They started doing it even before that. I mean, that's just, people are petty like that. It's the same way, like, I used to sell eBay stuff like 20 years ago. Like, it's the same way that people would, like, if, like, they review bomb on eBay, like, say that, like, I don't know, like, they didn't get, you get the product that you were sold, or you get, like, the product as advertised or whatever. But my buddy that I did eBay with, he always used to withhold our feedback. He'd be like, no, they have to leave it first, because if they don't, we're going to give them a 1 star for not giving us feedback.
I know some sellers
And it's like,
that,
no, but we sold them the thing, they paid us, and we delivered them their goods in a timely manner. They were happy with the transaction. Sometimes you just don't get feedback, and it's like, no, it's like, we're not leaving them feedback unless they leave it for us. And if they leave us negative feedback, we're going to bomb them. It's like, why? Because they purchased a thing and then immediately paid us, and we're waiting to get the money and whatnot. Like, it always pissed me off when he would always fucking do that. But, it's the same goddamn mentality. Like, oh, you don't like the thing that I like, so I'm not ever going to speak to you again. There's a very good friend of this show, or at least that used to be a very good friend of this show, that still refuses to speak to me, in part because I don't like one of her favorite movies, and takes it as a personal offense that I don't like one of her favorite movies. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize for having an opinion, but it doesn't change my opinion of, like, you as a person. Like, if you did, like, a lot of people dislike a lot of the movies I like, and vice versa. Like, Gerald, like, we love fucking Gerald. Gerald's one of my bros, man, but he and I have absolutely opposite tastes in movies. We both hate each other's tastes in movies, but I still love the dude. Like, I don't give a fuck what movies he likes at the end of the day. Who cares? Like, people take the shit way too seriously. I pick on you for at least one fucking movie a week, no matter what the hell it is.
Dude, it's the same thing as, in my view, I get shit for not liking certain foods or whatever. I eat boring, but in my opinion, fucking food is subjective too. So I mean, like, none of that shit matters. We all need to learn how to live in this world.
Together.
I hate to use the word in harmony, because that'll never happen, and I hate to be a pessimist about that, but
you can disagree with people. You don't have to agree. You can disagree with people. You can walk away. You can disagree and still, like, have respect for somebody. Like, you can still like somebody and talk to them and be friends with them, just because you have a difference of opinion about, like, a movie or something. Like, like, we love BVS on this show. Like, we talk about, how much we love Batman versus Superman or Man of Steel. Most people don't. Most people hate them, and I'll harass them all the time. Like, Joey DiCarlo, go fuck yourself.
Dude,
I purposely, when I recorded with them, I purposely wore the Batman versus Superman shirt that I wore to the Smithsonian when we went to see the fucking movie. Like, I purposely wore it just to egg him a little bit. But I still love the dude. Like, we still have a great discourse back and forth. It's like, people just, and I'm a big positivity guy, especially I have been ever since my marriage kind of, like, I'm a big positivity guy. You know this because you're friends with me on Facebook, and a lot of people who might be listening or watching or whatever that are friends with me on Facebook. I'd like to just put positivity out there. And you can still disagree with somebody in a positive way. You can still disagree with somebody and be positive about it. Like, people, like, if all you do, and it's the same people that they go on Twitter or they go on Facebook every single day and they just look for something, for some opinion that they disagree with, just to start an argument about it, just to make a post like you hate Trump or something, or you hate Democrats, and you just share a post just to piss off people, on the other side. And you make it like an inflammatory post, and just to be an asshole. Like, there's no need for it. Like, you can disagree with somebody.
This is so many people just, Nick, I think they feed off that. Like, that's
they do. They do feed off of it.
Actually, to be fair, I know you don't watch the show. It's a show that I love. That I just finished its second season. It just finished What We Do in the Shadows. There's a whole episode dedicated to one of the vampires who, he's an energy vampire, so he doesn't suck the blood to get, to feed. He just sucks the energy out of you. He literally goes on Twitter and shit just to do that, to piss people off and troll them, to suck their energy from them. It's a hilarious like satire on the whole idea of what some of these people are doing every day. And I see it every day. Literally, like today, for example, I posted on our Facebook page, based on the Keaton Batman returning news last week, I was like, I'll do one of these cool little activities that you pick 3 out of a certain number of movies and people can pick that. And it'll be just cool for people to chat back and
I
forth.
take offense to that list because
listen,
The Dark Knight Rises with the second greatest character performance of all time is not on the list. So I refuse to vote seriously in the list until the list of movies I could choose from is amended.
I saw what you had to say already. Listen here.
I refuse.
I wanted to include at least 1 or 2 movies from each different, recent interpretation. So I even gave Joel Schumacher a shot just because we talked about Batman Forever recently and it was the 25th. But of course, there's somebody in there who's got a problem with the list or has got a problem with somebody else's list or that came in just to troll. And that's just the world we live in.
Besides me, because I definitely went in there to troll because I just answered BVS 3 times.
Exactly. Of course you fucking did. But when it's you, we all kind of know. Actually, no, all our fans don't know because a guy I know from the Batman group that started to listen to us recently replied to your comment and actually offered an explanation to your opinion on that, thinking you're being serious. So they don't all know. I'm wrong, but whatever.
I mean, they keep listening long enough, they'll know.
They go far back. I'm pretty sure the name of the episode is Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice really that bad?
I believe that is the name of the episode.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the episode. So yeah, just keep going. Go far. I had to explain to Gerald today. I got shit from him for my picks in that too. But going back to the
that's because Gerald's a piece of shit and we hate him. No, we don't. We love Gerald.
Gerald's such a kind, gentle man.
Midori, welcome. Christine, why can't we all just get along? Yes, I agree. Midori says, What We Do in the Shadows is my fave show. There you go.
It's legit.
I still haven't checked it out.
It's legit like the best show that I've watched in years. And Guillermo is the best character. God damn it. I love that character so much. It's so funny. It's so dry. And I love that it's, within like the world of The Office, the way that it shoots the characters. It's like that
mockumentary style.
Documentary. Yeah, I love that. It works really well with those types of characters. And it's just a bunch of ancient old fart vampires. It's really funny. But I have to wait until the next season.
Gerald, you're fired. Wait, I'm trying to see on this Batman page now. Hang on. Let's see. A lot of people are voting in here though. A lot of people are weighing in. Dude, I think Batman Forever is the number 1 choice right now.
I think when I looked earlier, it was like over 25 to 30 people shared it. And I think over 20,000 people have viewed it. Thank you, Facebook, for letting me see those numbers. But that's, again, anything Batman always sells very well on our page. And that's cool. I just want to see people have, that's why we do that stuff on the page. I always try to do fun activities. We don't want to just post movie news all the time. We post our content all the time, but I want to give you guys something on there to do, to talk about, to chat about with each other, and to have fun. That's what it's all about. So enjoy.
I want the CIA guy on that list.
No one's picks are wrong. Hey, Caitlin, our good friend from Film Club here, she even said this is an attempt to cancel The Dark Knight Rises. I'm like,
I know. I just saw that one in there.
I was like, it is. I was joking with her, of course, but I'm like, I literally wanted to I needed to squeeze a Schumacher movie in there. And there's like the one dude, the one single person in the world. And it's like, where's the Adam West Batman movie? And I was like, it's not there. That's what you're getting out of me.
Listen, you know why the Adam West Batman movie isn't on there? It's because King Tut's not in the movie, is he? I don't think he is.
He's not. It's just jokes.
That's why the greatest Batman villain of all time is not even in the Adam West Batman movie. Also hasn't been adapted to the big screen. I'm still waiting to hear a casting announcement for Pattinson's movie that King Tut has been cast.
I want my King Tut fucking spinoff.
I want a King Tut origin. Like we just had listen, you could do it in the style of Joker. You could just do Tut. That's the name of the movie, Tut.
dude, and just
It's
have,
just
like,
a whole
half-
King Tut origin.
you know what the poster is, dude. It's just gonna be from his nose down to the bottom of the shredded wheat beard.
Just that
That's
giant
just
square
an
shredded wheat. Yep.
shredded wheat beard, and then Tut.
The poll is only on our Facebook page, Midori. I'm basically not checking the EFG Twitter right now because Twitter's just a toxic hellhole. Which, I mean, really, it's if I had the time to go on Twitter and to police like all the stuff that's on there and like weed out all of the accounts that are just like, but it's just endless. And then like I'll see hashtags that are trending, and I'm like, why is this trending? And I'll just click on it, and I just shake my head. I'm just like,
Nick,
you know,
to speak a line.
that's why I just stay away from it. Like now,
To
just
speak a line from one of your favorite movie franchises ever. Are you getting too old for this shit?
probably, yeah.
Are you really? I mean, because it
Probably.
sounds that way, man.
I'm just not. Well, I mean, social media, and I've long contended this, but I don't think social media makes us more social. I don't think social media really helps us to stay as connected because all social media people use social media for is just to attack other people because they're keyboard warriors behind a keyboard. You're behind that safety net of the internet and the keyboard, so you can be more inflammatory. You could say things to somebody that you would never say to them in person.
Never say in person.
You know, like, most people in person, aren't going to be that confrontational and aren't going to be this and aren't going to be that and aren't going to be whatever. I mean, it's not to say that you don't have examples of people who definitely are, but most people, they're going to get into this just a giant flaming rhetoric, but that's all social media has become. Everything else has been completely drowned out. Like, you got like people like me, like I'm on my personal Facebook. Like I said, like, people that follow me on Facebook know all I try to do is just post positivity, positive things, positive energy, put positive energy out there. A lot of people do but it's fucking drowned out because nobody's interested in it. It's the same reason why there's no news. Well, and earlier this year when COVID happened, you had John Krasinski did the whole some good news thing, which was fun and it was cute and it was cool because he just did nothing but talk about good news. But, like, it's the 24-hour news cycle. Like, everything feeds off of negativity. Everything feeds off of negative energy. You don't have news reports. Where's the fucking 20-minute piece about, like, just some good thing that happened? No, it's got to be whatever negative shit you can drag up about literally everything.
I saw some
Everything.
news today about, I forget the actress's name. I think she was a TV actress. She saved a kitten from being hit in the road or something. So, and I yesterday I posted. I took a walk in Old Town Manassas yesterday. I met up with one of our patrons, my good friend Brady, and I parked in front of a pottery.
Thank you, Brady.
And in front of that pottery place, Nick, they have a gigantic poster in the front window of Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze making pottery from Ghost. And I posted that yesterday. So that's a positive thing for the world to see one of the most amazing scenes ever put to film.
See, I don't understand why you have to try to spread negativity like that too. Why do you have to see, here's the water supply, like their water supply, and you're just walking up to it with a big bottle of poison and just dumping it in. That's all you're doing.
And I'm telling
That's all
you,
you're doing.
The Swayze. You're the only one. I've never.
Everybody's crazy for Swayze. Remember when you tried to get That's So Swayze trending? Remember?
I tried to do that, and then I still say it once in a while, like, that's Swayze, and people be like, what the hell is that? I wore my Crazy for Swayze shirt a few weeks ago for you, and you didn't even care. You didn't even care about the effort that I put in. I dressed for you for the date, and I didn't get any appreciation whatsoever. It's okay. Whatever, it's fine. Spread the
Once
love.
upon a time, he tried to get the hashtag trending, or not hashtag trending, because that was like kind of before the Twitter heyday, or whatever. But he tried to get, like, what was it? It was the word cool. He tried to get the word cool replaced with people just saying
Swayze.
That's Swayze.
Like that, instead of like that's rad.
That's so Swayze.
Yeah.
He made me take a Patrick Swayze head on a stick to my bachelor party. Do you realize, Justin, that, and we're technically with this week's show, we got to mention this on the main show, but with this week's show, we are literally celebrating 5 years of the Epic Film Guys podcast. The beginning of July 2015, Terminator Genesis. God, there's already been 2 Terminator movies in the last 5 years. 5 years of the Epic Film Guys podcast. Literally, this podcast has outlasted my marriage. Let's see. What else? Nope, just that. Pretty much my marriage.
You still have the same car, don't you? Or you got a new car, didn't you? You got a new car.
Nope, I got a new car. In the wait, did I get that car the same year? I think I got that car the same year.
What about your phone though? You said your phone is wicked old though.
Yeah, my phone was also the same year. I think that was also 2015, if I'm not mistaken. My phone literally, I can't even unplug it anymore. If I unplug it and like send one text message, it will immediately die because the battery just can't hold a charge anymore. So I finally need to upgrade my phone. I'm supposed to be getting a bonus from work. I'm getting a cost of living raise from work, which is going to be nice. It's going to help me kind of survive the last few months here while I try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do, especially with everything getting shut the fuck back down again. Like, I really, really want to move. Like, that was my big plan at the beginning of the year. Like, you remember me talking about it. You know, that was my big plan is I wanted to move out of the area. I wanted to find a new job. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. And then COVID hit. And then everything else happens. And then COVID round 2 is swelling up, even though it hasn't resurged here in New York because we are still kind of in the phases of reopening and doing this and doing that and everything. But it's you know, just it's just one thing after another. So I mean, at this point, I'm basically just invested in getting out of here and getting into a cheap place, some just cheap whatever, like $5 a month box in a fucking wall that I live in. Whatever, I'll find somebody's fucking cupboard under their stairs like Harry Potter and fucking live in that shit. Like, I don't care. You know, like that's all I'm trying to do at this point is just get out of here and then keep working my current job because I'm going to be at home until the end of the year, if not longer, depending on how long all this COVID nonsense goes on for and everything. So it's just like, you know, I just got to find, you know, put the rest of those pieces kind of in place. But it's one of those things where it's just not happening along the timeline that I wanted it to happen on. But
Before we go any further though, because I know we're pushing a little bit on our time while we're going to be ending the live stream here and starting our episode. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this because I don't know how much you're going to have to say about this. And I know that we're going to be doing our wrestling talk like fully during our stream time. So I got the matchup.
Forget about it.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah. Brother.
Oh, good for you.
I miss those brothers.
speaking of Terminator.
Yeah. But I got two wrestlers. One I admire greatly. The other I appreciate more for the business side of his talents and what he's done for the WWE in the last 10 to 15 years. I don't know your opinion on either of them in an in-depth fashion, but we will see who you pick as the winner. We got Triple H versus the King of Hearts, Owen Hart. So as we always do this, promo, in the ring, look, the whole package.
I mean, and there's of course the caveat that Owen Hart's career was just tragically cut short. I watched that pay-per-view live. I still remember that happening live. I saw that shit live. That was just
insane.
Ugh.
Oh man, I actually missed that one when that happened. So I found out the next day.
I mean, it was just, you know, they literally, when that happened, they literally just like kept the cameras on like a promo. Like they had a promo about whatever for the event, and then they cut to JR saying that he had fallen and that there was a serious thing had happened and whatever, and you know, who knows, whatever.
Oh, man, the most upsetting thing about that is hearing JR talk about that now, knowing how close he was to Owen and how everyone backstage loved Owen. He was a big prankster. He was a great wrestler, great talent, great family man. And him saying, like, when they were out there, they saw it happen and no one was saying anything to them in their earpiece until they were like, okay, we're going live. And they're like, what do I have to say? And he's like, Owen's dead. He found out that second, and then they went on the air within 5 seconds of him actually finding out. Because when they took him out in the gurney or whatever, no one knew. So he was told 5 seconds before he went back on the air that Owen had passed. So that look on his face is real. It's like the realest thing that you'd ever see when you watch a wrestling match.
Yeah, it was surreal to watch it live. So it like I said, it comes with that caveat because who knows what Owen Hart's career would have been had he still been around. He was one of my favorites back in like the kind of the birth of the Attitude Era though. But he had that whole shtick where he kept saying first he joined the Nation of Domination, which was great. I mean, not even to mention all the stuff that he did with the Hart Foundation and Brett and British Bulldog and the Anvil and all that stuff. But and then like one of the funniest things that I still remember from that era of wrestling is when people used to call him a Nugget. I don't even remember who it was that gave him that nickname originally. It was either Triple H or The Rock. I think honestly Triple H, because he and Triple H were feuding a lot at that time over the Intercontinental title. I think it was Triple H, and everybody used to call him a Nugget, and then he would literally stop in the middle of matches or stop in the middle of promos and scream at the crowd, "I am not a Nugget."
I know, like it was so hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. He was great in the ring. He was a great performer. He was absolutely amazing. But I mean, how do you pick against the game here? How do you pick against the game? I mean, number one, an insane worker. Like, and you could leave aside the fact that he married into the McMahon family, and obviously he's big up in like WWE corporate and everything.
You can't hate him for that.
No, you can't. You can't hate him for that. But it's. I mean, like, you can't. Like he's an insane worker. Great on the mic. Like his entrance, like especially like the Motorhead entrance, like coming down and like chugging the water and like spitting it out, and like the way the lights hit him, and just that fucking like dude was like legitimately ripped to the nines.
He wasn't the tallest, but he always had that big, wide, thick stance. He always looked super imposing when he had the long hair and everything.
Dude, and like he was a great heel. Like, I mean, he wasn't like they turned him face periodically and whatnot, but he was a great heel, like with the sledgehammer and shit, like knocking people out. Like he would mess people up. Doing different kinds of shit. He wrestled with 2 torn hamstrings at one point in time during a match. That was on Raw, I believe. He pulled both of his hamstrings and he finished the match, but then he had to go like on hiatus or whatever. Like he's done some just amazing things, and he's like a great heel. I mean, like people, and I don't watch modern wrestling, so I really can't weigh in on like a lot of what he's done. Like I've heard people bitch about him from this angle or that angle, like in terms of like what he does on the creative side of things.
He spearheaded NXT, right? That's his whole thing that he did. He basically took that over, I'm pretty sure. And
I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that he takes care of. Now in NXT, from all reports that I've ever heard, like I've only watched like little bits here and there, but I mean it's their developmental stuff. Like it's all young, hungry wrestlers, like everybody trying to prove something. Like a lot of people say it's better than the actual WWE product. A lot of people prefer the NXT stuff to that because now it has its own storylines and its own title belts and its own it has for years and years. Like we were talking about earlier, talking about fighting with my family. Like it for years and years. Like it's been its own pseudo promotion. Like but it's still just the developmental promotion. Like your goal in NXT is still to graduate up to the big leagues. Basically it's like minor league ball, as it were, which is kind of a great thing to do. Like they always had all sorts of different just random developmental territories all over the country, like little one here, little one. I mean, you think about what McMahon did in the wrestling business back in the early 80s. Like he consolidated all these local things because it was what the Worldwide Wrestling Federation at the time, WWF, and then he consolidated all these local territories into the WWF, like made it what it is today, like made it the big thing it is today. And NXT kind of does the same thing. Like it got rid of all those localized, like regional developmental territories. And it's just like, here, we're just going to give developmental its own brand. Like it's basically WWE minor leagues,
Gives a lot of those newcomers an opportunity to show their stuff. It gives them the spotlight and it gives people something else to watch, more of a product, something like, oh, you know what? I like these young guys. I like to see the young, hungry guys or whatever.
And nothing for nothing. I mean, it is still under the WWE banner. And I mean, I know they've got All Elite Wrestling now is making, or was at least before COVID. I haven't heard anything about it.
I was going to ask your opinion on it because they debuted their first big televised episode here in DC. I knew a lot of people that went and a lot of people were talking about it. And that was just when I was starting to think about wrestling again. And a lot of people are like, really loving it, and people want competition. Like wrestling fans, they feed off that. They miss those Monday Night Wars, and we know how TNA ended up. That didn't last. TNA tried to do the same thing as WCW, and it failed as far as trying to compete with the WWE. And now somebody else is trying. And the only thing that I can say is they got JR, they got Chris Jericho, and those two people know their stuff. And I think that they know how to run a company like that. So I've watched a couple of like clips of matches on YouTube. I've obviously, because I don't have television, I can't watch anything. But from what I saw, it looked like solid wrestling. I mean, for me, growing up, it was always like, if I like the wrestlers and I like the matches, like I don't care what title, I don't care what brand it is. Like I just like it.
It'd be nice if it created like a very good, solid competitor against WWE, and doesn't go the way that TNA did. Like TNA in its original, we talked about this ages ago on a pre-roll, I remember, but they started out with that, the 6-sided ring or whatever it was. Yeah. And like they were all about hiring young guys, and like we weren't gonna make the mistakes that WCW made. We're not just gonna hire a whole bunch of fucking geezers.
They brought in Vince Russo and
then they just literally started just hauling them all in there one after the other. Especially once the WWE and WCW invasion storyline, and like they terminated a bunch of those contracts, and others just kind of sat out their contracts, and others the contracts ran out, and WWE was just like, yeah, get out of here, we don't want you anymore. Whatever, so they just kind of started to flock to that and whatnot. Like it'd be great. It'd be really, really great to have some kind of great competition, at least in and granted, like I said, I don't watch a lot of modern stuff. More, and it's funny the way they would circle back around to fighting with my family, but a lot of the more entertaining wrestling nowadays, especially on the main WWE product, but even in NXT, it's the divas, because they don't. Yeah. It's not what it was in the Attitude Era. It's not. I mean, and nothing against like your Trish Stratuses and like those people who they were very, very they were talented as well. Like they did good things as well. Like they were talented, but they were out there in really scantily clad outfits to look hot. Like that's the only reason they were out there, is to draw that young male audience.
And these girls now are hot too, but they're super athletic.
Yeah, they're super athletic. They're super fit. Like they're not wearing super revealing costumes. They're wearing actual like ring attire that makes sense, where you're not just going to randomly have a titty popping out at a house show, probably. Like
I'm sure that still probably.
I'm sure it probably still does, but. It's just one of those things where it's just, I don't know. Like I said, it'd be good, but to circle back around to it, with the pick, it's got to be Triple H. It's got to be. It's got to be, because I mean, like with the amount of work, like now, if you just want to compare them up to the point that Owen dies, then Owen wins. Okay. But Owen was by far. I mean, if you think about it, like Triple H was. He was in DX with Shawn Michaels. DX by itself, with him as the head of the stable, was just becoming a thing. He was just kind of starting to make a name for himself when Owen died. Like he wasn't the game yet. He wasn't Triple H. He wasn't the game. He was still half the time going by Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I saw him wrestle. The only time I ever saw him wrestle, he came out with like the fancy fucking orchestral music, and he was still wearing like the fluffy shirt, the pirate shirt with the big long coat, and that's how I saw him. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, like I said, that's how he was still, even in those early DX days with X-Pac and the Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, like the second iteration of the stable after Shawn Michaels went out for his back issues. Like, he was still going as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Like they would swap back and forth between, but then when he rebranded himself as the game, as Triple H, like, it started coming out to the Motorhead, and like that iteration of Triple H, forget it, blows Owen out of the water as far as I'm concerned.
All right, very fair. I mean, you always have to ask, because I know from a lot of wrestling fans' perspective, for some reason they have like a huge vendetta against Triple H. I've always thought very much, to piggyback off what you said, he was a very good worker. He had a great look and everything. He wasn't the best technical wrestler or anything like that. Like I think Owen has him beat there, and Owen is definitely like a better high flyer.
Oh, easily. All that stuff. Triple H was never a high flyer to begin with, though.
Well, that, and as far as a ring performer, but like you said, we never know what would have happened. So Triple H for this week, and that's the end of the wrestling talk for the Epic Film Guys
That's
stream,
it.
baby.
That's
Yeah.
it, ladies and gentlemen. So, on the main show this week, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. We're probably just going to chat a little bit about 5 years of Epic Film Guys. 5 years, which is almost impossible for me to believe still that we've been doing this damn show for 5 years, even though some things have changed about the show. Some things haven't changed about the show. Kind of depends on what.
Did you just look at me on purpose? I
what you're
swear to
talking
God,
about.
you out of the corner of your eye. Well, I've definitely got more grays than I had then, like a lot more.
I weigh a lot less than I did when we started the show.
You do.
I fit into size 40 pants now. I was wearing it to my son's graduation. I grabbed them out. I didn't even realize which ones I had grabbed, but they were size 40, so I'm almost back down into 30s. I haven't worn 30s since before college. Like in college, I wore 40s and 42s, and especially toward the end of college was 42s. So
reverting back, our good friend J.R. Taylor, I posted a picture of us from 5 years ago in the Hopesters Dumpster, our fan group, yesterday. Is that classic picture of me and you in front of your TV with the old logo on it. And he was like, great picture, but I love the, healthy Nick now better than that Nick. And I'm like, 100%. You're where you're at.
Can you Photoshop? Can you go in there and Photoshop and like take my cheeks and shit in and like make me look like a lot less fat?
Make you look anorexic. I'll make you look like a fucking skeleton. I was at my high school weight before our vacation. So the both of us are like better than where we were 5 years ago, which is something to definitely be proud of. The show's better than it was 5 years ago. I would fucking hope, though, of course, if we still were.
The show 5 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, the first 7 episodes of this show were, well, we had Justin on. Justin was talking into his phone. I was talking into my phone. And the first episode of the show was me talking at my phone for like 40 minutes about Terminator Genesis. That was the first ever episode of the show. Didn't have any of the other like random nonsense. Didn't like terrible audio quality. Then we got headset mics. You remember we got headset mics for the longest time?
That thing is still stuffed in this cabinet down at the bottom of it somewhere.
It's just, the show has come a very, very long way. The show has gone through a lot of different things. We've had a lot of things that we've done, which we are still doing. We've had a lot of things that we have done that we're not doing anymore. Like certain things run their course, certain things do their things. Like what are you drinking? What are you drinking was a staple for like 4.5 almost years, but then it just doesn't align with our fitness goals. I'm sober till my birthday. You're drinking vodka and tonic water every goddamn week. That's that it's just not it's not the same anymore. Like it was just one of those things where we had to have a different beer that we've never had before every week, no matter what.
And I have the untapped check-ins to prove all of this because I would check it in every week. I
haven't checked a beer in on Untapped in months now. And I think I've only checked in probably like a handful this whole year. I mean, part of that's due to the COVID thing and not going anywhere, but a lot of that's also, and even when I do want beer, like I'm not like going and doing a pick 6 of something whenever the hell I can, because that was what we would always do too. We would always go and try to do a pick 6 of everything because we'd had everything and we were just like, all right, well, let's see if we can get this.
And when I moved down here, it was like smorgasbord because I never tried anything down here. And the cool thing about that though, Nick, is, and I'm hoping you'll find it. I'm sure you will. I found a happy medium where I know that if I want to have a beer or 2, I say 2 because I will not allow myself to have more than 2 on a special occasion, like when I was at the beach or if I'm out of town and I'm going to maybe I'll go have 1 or 2, and I feel comfortable and okay with doing that, but I'm no longer going to do. Those of you that have been listening to this show for a long time, every week Nick would have new beer. I would go to Aslan down the street and spend like $100 every check on new beer.
Oh yeah, easily.
2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, and I'd have like, I'm drinking Aslan this, Aslan that, and those beers are so calorie and carb dense, all empty, and I drink like 2 or 3 of those things.
Oh, easily. There were some recordings. I mean, you can go back and listen to some shows. Like I could probably, and I couldn't name the episode numbers for you right now, but there are certain episodes you can go back and you can tell the episodes when Justin and I are just completely fucking trashed out of our minds. Like just completely, usually a telltale sign is usually we will say fuck a lot more. Like we will just drop the F-bomb a lot more because we'll just be like,
you more than I,
fucking piece of shit. It's very, very obvious, that it's, a lot a lot. Not to say that it hasn't happened even when I, sometimes some nights I was dipping into the bourbon, I was getting a little, it is what it is. But
It's all in good fun. That's part of the basis of what this show is all about.
It's all part of it. It's like I said, we've had a lot of great ups and downs, and now we're working to break into more video content. Loisos did the review over on YouTube during the week. We're working on doing streaming content every single week here on the Twitch channel. We are going to be bringing some kind of movie party something. Give me another week or two to kind of workshop exactly what that's necessarily going to be, because basically I still don't like the way that Twitch has the overlay for it, but stick with us in terms of the watch parties and stuff. We're going to have watch parties and different things like that to do, where you're going to be able to sit with at least me, and sit down and just watch a Bronson flick or some dumb shit like that on Prime. As long as you have Amazon Prime, you'll be able to watch along. So there's a lot of those kinds of different things that we're working to do now. And whatever. And then, we're, of course, still mired in #Canon Quarantine, which, of course, not this week, because this week we have to celebrate one of the greatest movies ever made, obviously. But, going into the Canon series, we've got more movies going up in the Hopesters Dumpster, the fan group. If you're not over in the fan group, the link is down below. There's a picture of Gerald, actually, with a beer in an EFG glass. Down below in the panels down below on the screen. That's a link directly to the Hopesters Dumpster. Go ahead and join the fan group. Log in there and, join the fan group on Facebook, and then, you'll get to take part in polls for #Canon Quarantine stuff and all sorts of other whatever other random nonsense pops up over there. And,
like today, we just released a brand new t-shirt. You asked for it, you got it. It's now available in our Redbubble store. You can head over to our Facebook page. It's there. It's also in our group. It's the movie podcast your mother warned you about. You guys said that you wanted it on a shirt. I finally did it. I was lazy for like 4 months, and now
right there.
So go grab it if you're interested. It's on hoodies. We have the Slimer edition, which is like a bright fluorescent green. Sorry, Christiane, I wish it could be glow in the dark, dude. Seriously, I wish we could do that with Redbubble. And then we also have the classic, our normal logo red color as well. So that's now available for you guys. We got plenty of more merch on the way. I got lots and lots of ideas. Whenever I'm not just
I'm still waiting for the poster of the sauce in a big pile of socks, but now we got to wait the COVID thing, because he's going to want to wear a mask, and it's like, it's not going to look right if you're wearing nothing but a mask laying in a big pile of socks.
You can't, but we can't let him shave that beard off. I found out that almost all theaters have postponed their opening, so I'm hoping that means Alamo as well, which means he'll keep the beard for a longer period, and maybe I can convince him. Maybe I can get him drunk like I did, a couple weeks ago when he came over and watched the 4K of Jaws. Get him so fucking hammered, and then I'll do the photo shoot when he's wasted.
You're just gonna have to. So what you're gonna need to do is
I'll get canceled for that, though, won't I? I'll get in trouble. Got young man hammered to take naked photos in front of socks. I'm pretty sure that would hurt my reputation in some way.
I mean, maybe we'll get an exemption because people will take one look at the sauce and they'll understand.
He's just too irresistible.
He is. He's the god of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. He's the god of podcasting for a reason. But yeah, it's been a great 5 years. It's good. We've got so much more. I can't, like, whenever theaters finally do reopen or whatever the case may be, we've got so many more different avenues of content and whatnot. I know the fans are loving #Canon Quarantine. They don't want it to end, even when the theaters reopen or whatever. Eventually, we're going to run out of Canon movies, though, guys, or at least Canon movies we can find. I've already removed like 7 or 8 movies from that list that literally you just cannot find anywhere. Like, I'd have to buy a VCR and a VHS copy of it floating around somewhere.
You're not going to be able to avoid Chuck Norris forever. I'm telling you that right the fuck
Listen,
right now.
he's come up for vote. People haven't voted for him.
Well, Invasion USA hasn't been on there yet, right?
No, Invasion USA. Delta Force has been on there, but not Invasion USA.
I'm shocked Delta Force didn't win, but
because
it's all
people wanted American Ninja. That's why. Like, there was Chuck Norris and Bronson last week, and people voted for Dudikoff instead. And then we got
the Dudikoff. Get me the Dudikoff. Get me the Dudikoff.
Yeah, so no hashtag canon quarantine today, ladies and gentlemen. Please stick around if you're in the chat. We're gonna raid Christy Cates, I think, just because I think she's live. So just say hello, let her know the Epic Film Guys sent you over when you get over there. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in for another pre-roll. Again, this week's episode dropping on Thursday. I'm trying to get back to a more normal release schedule, maybe, kind of, but yeah.
Your period was late last week.
Yeah, I'm trying, people. It's I've just been a very, very busy boy, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and initiate the raid here. But say hello to Christy Cates when you get over there. Let her know the EFG sent you, and thank you guys so much for tuning in here again on Twitch every Monday, ladies and gentlemen, about 10 p.m. And then the stream schedule is down below because I'm also streaming Minecraft at least 2 days a week, here, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure subscribe and follow and all those kind of fun things. But thank you so much for watching, and we will see you
at the movies. I gotta go pee. I gotta go pee.